Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. We have a very special guest today, also a Patreon supporter, Emilio Perea. I know I mispronounced that last name, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to gringo up your last name, who is in Mexico. And I really wanted to talk about this because it's a really interesting. I talk a lot about on this show how we can find solutions to what's going on, and part of the we talk about on the show is all this money that especially America is spending in military. We outspend the next 10 countries combined on military, and yet we always, oh, how are we going to pay for Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for all these things? And as we see in the pandemic here in the United States, we have people lining up for bread lines. We already had pretty serious poverty throughout the United States prior to the pandemic, and it's only getting worse. So, Emilio, I wanted to bring you on the show because you are working on a very interesting project that is really amazing to me, that is happening in Mexico, where basically you're taking the cost of one Black Hawk helicopter and using it to help the poor in agriculture. Can you explain this to us, and how this program, how you made it work, and everything like that? I know you have a presentation, uh, and show us how this can work, because it's really inventive, and I like this type of direct action.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. First, thanks for having me on the show. I'm obviously a great fan and supporter of your work, and the likes of you, like Jimmy and Ron. Um, well, this project came to me. I'm a lawyer, and I got to know this project like in a very indirect way. One of their suppliers asked me to check a contract that they were having with this project that was government run, but well, it was supervised. It is supervised by the government in some way, like technically, because it's an agricultural program, but it's actually run by the locals. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, these guys are distributor, and so I got to know them. I got their trust, and then they started asking me for legal stuff, and then the government came and told me, hey, like you created a good bond with these people, and you know how this works. Can you help us develop like the next stage of this program? And because it's well, and you will see the objective is to make social. Go there, go there, go. Shut the door. Thank you. Yeah, the goal is to make like social entrepreneurs, but the real social entrepreneurs. And it got to me like, well, how much does it cost? I asked one of the people from the government, like the new project, and you will see it. And he was like, well, like 210 million, like up to this stage that we're on. They needed maybe
And this is through the Mexican government you're talking.
yeah, 210 million Mexican pesos. Which I said, well, how much is that? And I just came, watching your videos, and I said, well, let's see like a Black Hawk helicopter, which is a staple. There's a Black Hawk down, and you see them, and National Guard has them, the the people, the border patrol has them, and Mexican government police has them. And how much does this cost? Well, I've just Googled it, and it turns out that you will see that is like 5 to 10 million US dollars, which is roughly what this costs. And it's sometimes it's like, well, instead of having like 100 Black Hawks, let's take like five and start this maybe in the US or elsewhere, instead of bombing the bejesus out of those people.
Mhm.
And so I just made a little presentation. I wanted to share it. It's really cool because like everything merged. I was reading stuff from Professor Richard Wolff about co-op, and many people find it like very, also it's like he talks about very technical stuff, and not like really on the ground. He put some examples like there's a Mondragon company, and actually it's active here in Mexico. But when I got to this project, I was like, hey guys, you're running a co-op. And they're like, yeah, but we're not a co-op. Like, yeah, but you actually are like the people who live here in this impoverished area of Mexico, and you are the producers. You say what you're going to produce, how are you going to sell it, when are you going to produce, and what are you going to do with the revenue. And and yeah, it's great. I'll put the presentation. It's just going to be really quick, really simple,
Sure.
just to get the idea, to so you can like see the picture. Actually, today I was down there in the. I just wanted to show you like I got my like two tomatoes.
Nice.
They start picking tomatoes from April, from June until December, and they own the company. Is it showing full screen? Yeah. Well, this is a case of how you can save 100 people from poverty and hunger through the cooperative work for the cost of a Black Hawk helicopter, maybe two. As you know, how much does a Black Hawk helicopter cost? You can ask Google, and it says 5.9 to 10.2. That's what Google says, like just like that.
Oh, so get like a fully loaded Black Hawk is 10.2. To get the sunroof and all the extra bonus stuff, it's 10.2. Okay, that's
Yeah, maybe Blu-ray will be 10.5, but
Apple CarPlay, a good sound system. All right, good. Good to know.
yeah. So that's like, well, like a ballpark. And then I went, well, how many has the U.S. lost, for example, in Iraq? And if you look down the list, that's 28 helicopters lost, 13 to hostile fire. So maybe you had like 15 malfunctions or whatever, no? So that's a lot of helicopters. Mexico actually bought in the very successful war against drugs. Seven, of, as you know, no, there are no more cartels. Everybody's
Fixed it.
holding hands.
Yeah, yeah, yes. No more drug. Nobody needs drugs. The cartels are selling vegan smoothies and chocolates, right? That's what they're
Yeah,
selling.
yeah, because there was this person that said, "I'm gonna change the cartels from the inside." He sneaked into one of the cartels and say, "Hey, Chapo, we need to start selling, like nice footwear. Like we sell one and we give one to the poor."
I knew that could work. I knew you could change a drug cartel for the inside. I knew it was possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like magic. And well, that was back then. Actually, they bought it when the war started, and those were like the worst years in here in Mexico. I mean, shit. I was in my yoga class, and I heard how they gone down. Like one guy working for the Ministry of Justice, like 2 blocks away. Uh, like 30 shots. Like, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy time to live here. It's still crazy in some places like Jalisco, where they bought this helicopter. By the way, they're Polish. The company Sikorsky is Polish. And so the governor in Jalisco is a very right winger, and they have a very big problem with a very big cartel. And he said, well, I'm going to buy one of these ones, but it costed 19 million. So I guess this is the one with the Blu-ray. I don't know, man. I don't know how to they make this deal. And I mean, it's not like I had to like went like deep into the internet. You just Google Black Hawk Mexico, and you find like I found this case of the governor buying a 19 million USD aircraft, and you Google how much does a Black Hawk cost, and it said 5.2 to 10.2, and they were like, well, the other 9 million are for what? And you have to remember, we're not the Pentagon, man. We're like Mexico. We have the half of the population is in poverty. It's been in poverty since the 1980s. It's been like that, like since neoliberal guys took office. It's been treated just like a percentage, and the only thing that they've done mainly is just to label it like very bad poverty, very, very bad poverty, and stuff like that. And, but well, just to say where this project is taking place is in my state. It's run by an independent governor. Is the You can say it's the second to or third largest economy in Mexico,
Mhm.
but it's really concentrated. We have a lot of we have manufacturing, economies like a big manufacturing economy, a commercial, and it's one of the least worst places to be in Mexico economically. But the southern part of the state is really, really, really poor. It's yeah, and you will see like the kind of places they live. The people who work here live, and now how their lives have gotten better. I have a couple of photographs, but yeah, it's we like this place. You can drive for 4 hours, and maybe six. You're in San Antonio, so it's not like really, really far away from the U.S. We're really close to the U.S. And well, the project started here. It's like the desert, but there's water underneath. And what the government wanted to do is they had already these projects for maybe 8 years, and they wanted to start a new one, the one that costed about a Black Hawk helicopter. And they got like a grant. It was really hard, and like getting the money, they had to go to federal government. They chip in a little bit. The state government chip in a little bit. They went uh, to the banks, and the banks said no because of Trump. For the banks, the one thing that people in the U.S. maybe don't understand is that people outside the U.S., like politicians, are not happy that Trump is gone because now they cannot point the finger at, oh, you're corrupt. Oh, look at Trump. Look what he tweeted. So it was like like I'm not bad. They just look at Trump. He's worse. And so uh, you know, just just for the
Yeah, everybody
context.
lost their boogeyman all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody like, well, like, oh shit, now they're gonna come for us. Um, and yeah, well, the banks, they bailed out, if you can say that. They just jump out of the ship, uh, and the government just grabbed some money, like the local government, and they made it work for the first stage. And with the proceedings of of what these people do, they could run they could do that like second stage. This was then, and this is now. Actually, I was there today. Um, and yeah, these
This
are
is
like
all farm. So
greenhouses.
this is now. So they basically just took arid desert that they knew had water underneath
Hmm.
for basically the cost of a Blackhawk. Maybe not the really nice one with the DVD player and the sunroof, but maybe just kind of your average one, like a Ford Taurus style one. Um, they put in, and so what are we looking at in this photo?
Oh, we're looking at packing. Like well, these are like 18 greenhouses. They're 10,000 square meters. I don't know how many acres are that.
Mhm.
You know, they each two they're paired. So you get two greenhouses, and two greenhouses are developed by a group of farmers, and this group of farmers join in one single group that sells. And so the idea is that they are the owners of they are not in a co-op because get a lot of this. They cannot be a co-op because of NAFTA. NAFTA doesn't allow co-ops to export, so they have to pay a little bit more taxes because co-ops are really efficient tax wise. But even then, because these are people that their choices were, maybe go and work for some other farm if you're lucky, and make like Mexican minimum wage, maybe go to the US, as like an illegal immigration,
Hmm.
or join the cartels, especially if you're young.
Wow.
It's like an option. It's like when when you hear stories in the US of guys living, in the ghetto,
Mhm.
in the hood or whatever. It's like East LA. Like, what were your options? Like, oh, well, join the gang, or get out of here, or join the army, and that was like
Mhm.
pretty much it. And like, all they were all not good options, or work like in McDonald's for nothing.
Yeah.
And it's great because these guys, the role of the government is just to provide technical assistance. The land is owned by the government, so they don't, go and bet the farm literally, um, and they kind of lease it for zero, for anything, nothing. It's actually like free. The government went, bought the land, bought the rights for the water, organized, because it's painstaking. I mean, you have to do interviews. Many people think like, oh, co-ops, we all are holding hands and everything, and it's not. I mean, people are people. Some are good at work, some are not.
Mhm.
Some are fitted to this kind of work, some are not, and some will get along, some will not. But they try to get the best mix they can, and these people really need the job. And from the get-go, like, they start to work, because the government says, well, we're going to build this, we're going to get the company to build greenhouses, and they tell the company that going to build the greenhouses, like, hey, you guys, you have to take all the people that are going to be in the project as your workers, to, like, they're going to build their own greenhouses, and you're going to give them like all your knowledge of how to build a greenhouse. They're not going to make, like, they're not going to be your competitor, but like, these people were working there from day zero. They were, I mean, or building, there's a packing plant, like, to the left, like, there's a big building.
Okay.
That's like where they pack everything. And there in the middle, you have the water tanks. It's like really simple. It's like, and actually, it's not like rocket science. I mean, like, the technology you put in a Black Hawk helicopter is like too much. And actually, if you put, I think you put engineers and you tell them, hey guys, stop building this bomb or this helicopter or this new weapon, and make these greenhouses more efficient, and make them use less chemicals, and make them use, uh, I don't know, less water and stuff like that, they will get onto it. I
Yeah.
mean, they're engineers.
Well, Emilio, you bring up so many great points. And first of all, thank you for giving us all of this information. So I just want to ask a few questions and clarify here. So it's a government land. They're leasing it to this. So this basically, this farm is a collection of farmers. So it's like a
Yeah,
farmer
it's,
cooperative, basically.
imagine that it's like yeah, it's a co-op. They are integrated like in little groups for the sake of organization. But imagine you have like 9 teams of farmers. Each team is 10 farmers, and they all integrate in just one company, which is the front, like the commercial front. Like, is the one that sells and buys all the whatever they need to you know uh,
Okay. And so then they take this, and it's mainly, is it just the tomatoes that you showed us at the top of the video, or is it a multitude of agriculture that they're growing?
well, right now they're only doing tomatoes. They are experimenting with different kinds of tomatoes. They've I've seen in they have 3 projects like this right now. Each one employs, um, like, around 100. This one is like 90 owners. Another one is like 112 owners, and the other one is 132 owners, plus workers. Because what the owners can do is like they have a family, like your wife, and they say, well, you want to bring your wife to help you, to help you with to pick the tomatoes and tend and your farm and whatever. And so it's a thing that it makes cohesion in the family and rooting. Like people don't go away from these places, which are many of them are desolated all over Mexico. Uh, they also and it's not only working like in the farm. They also are in the packing plants. As if actually there are some people who have degrees, so they are in accounting or administration or clerical things.
Right. So I mean, this is fantastic. And so then, obviously, then these tomatoes, it looks like they produce these greenhouses produce a lot. So then they export these all throughout Mexico and other countries as well.
No, because of the tomato has like a 15-day from the day you pick it. It has to be in 15 days. It has to be in a shell somewhere. You have to sell it like to the last person. Like you have that's the life. Actually, these come like really really green, not red,
I see.
and they mature during that time. They have to be refrigerated all this time. But because of where they're located, they can sell, all over Mexico. Maybe they've sent even to Tijuana, which is like 3 days or 4 days. Like the truck will take that long.
Mhm.
To the U.S., it takes like one day to get to the border, maybe one day to cross it, and then you know go to a distribution center of a grocer or one of these distribution centers like General, where
Yeah.
they don't, distribute. Yeah, it's you cannot export them really far, but it's a way. And the great thing is generally you see like these pictures and you see, oh, this like this woman, like she's sorting. Maybe she's an employee, but she can also be like an owner.
Mm,
And today I was talking to one of the growers there. A grower is it's like very technical term in a farm. Like he's an agronomy engineer, and he knows everything about tomatoes. And he says, man, I love working here because you can see how people like go from, well, this is at the actual place. I took this picture today. There's the packing plant. There are the greenhouses, you can see them there. And this is like how they live, man. This is like the conditions that they used to live. And one of the owners' houses looks now like this. He
wow.
has 3 cars and stuff. I mean, it's still, this dusty Mexican place, but I mean, they they are out of poverty. They
Wow.
have they have a salary for every week. They get a salary that they pay for themselves, and this year they get like bonuses from their production. Like I don't know, man. It's
So
between,
let me ask you this. I mean, this
yeah.
is impressive to see, but just sort of comparatively in terms of average Mexican wages, where are they? It sounds like it's on the higher side of it, but like compared to like what you said, the minimum wages there compared to like where are these jobs um,
Okay.
coming in
The,
payment?
the, okay, there's a very good thing. I didn't make the exercise, but actually you can, when you're comparing like different countries. The Economist magazine has a very good page that's called the Big Mac Index, and it tells you how much a Big Mac is worth in every country, and it's better, like a better measure than just convert like the currency. I can tell you like general. I can tell you like general in general terms. someone in the fields will be making maybe let's see, like $15 or $20 a week.
Mm-hmm.
uh, these guys are making 50, like that's the owners make 50, like 50 every week, or some, I think there some in some of these projects they do even $100 a week. And like this year they're gonna get bonuses for between, like, the ones that had really bad luck, like maybe a bacteria got into their greenhouse or
Right.
something, will get like seven or $8,000 like bonus. And the ones that were really good are gonna get like 25, $30,000 bonus.
So this is amazing. I mean, I just really it's just to see if I can break this down for myself and for the viewers out there. So the 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 federal government of Mexico takes about roughly 5 to 10 million in the equivalent of 5 to 10 million US dollars, what you said roughly 210 pesos, and takes this land and builds the greenhouses, and specifically has to use local citizens to build it, and then they also have ownership in this. There's these collection, this cooperative of farmers, and then there's all these jobs, obviously, working in the greenhouses, working in um the shipping plants and everything like that, and the accounting, all the office, and now so it's basically you're talking about. I mean, that one photo that you showed us is probably accounts for several hundred local jobs that are all very well paying, according to what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's they are changing. They are really changing the, like, the landscape in the community. Like they have now they have flea markets like on Saturdays, which is the last day. Usually people get their pay, or something, like the workers in the plant get their pay, and they're just not to be any of it. And now flea markets go there and they trying to sell stuff, and it's like the economy starts to pick up. Uh, and a very good example in one of these projects, they have like a competitor uh, less than a mile away. And it's the I've been working with these guys for like 5 years now. And that private run thing, it's on the third administration, and they're on, and I think there's going to be a fourth, you know because they cannot hold any of the workers, because everybody wants to work, even if they don't are actually owners. They want to work there, because if you work in these projects, you're very selectable for, hey, we're gonna build another project, and you're first on the list because you have experience, you know how to organize. And the cool thing about this is that actually today I met with the new, you can tell, the CEOs. It's like the board of directors, which is, you know they're the same people. They elect. Everything is democratic. It's like, oh, we're gonna elect something, or we're gonna choose another guy that sold us this thing, and oh, we have to go to a meeting. And the cool thing is that no one wants to be the CEO because it's just a pain in the ass. I mean, some go there and, like, yeah, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, they get to go to maybe like a farm expo and stuff like that. But like 2 or 3 years, they're like, nah, it's a lot of work. Because get a lot of this. When you work in farm, you get there really early, maybe 7, maybe 6 or 7, like in this kind of projects, 5, 6, or 7, you can get there. And by noon or 1 p.m., you're done.
Oh wow.
Because uh, that's how you work in the fields. I mean, especially because it's a greenhouse, so everything is really protected.
Hmm.
You have people that work there every day, like the engineers, they get paid very, very well. Actually, they win more, like a better salary than the owners, but they don't get the bonuses, you know.
So how
But
many, Emilio, I want to ask you, so how many of these projects are in Mexico right now, like up and running the way, like the photo you showed us?
man, it's just three of them. Like this is like the governor is like really pushing when he joins with other governors. It's like, man, you have to see this. Like it's the best way to get people out of poverty, to get the young guys out of trouble. There's a drug problem, like crystal meth.
Mm.
um, you know it's so you need to give these guys options. I was one time I was watching, I went there, and one of the engineers there told me, like, you see these two little fellas, like he's 18, he's married, he's 19, he's married. They were, one of them was with a tractor, like taking taking some stuff from one greenhouse to the other. And he said the second one already has one kid, and if they were not working here, they will be in the cartel.
Right.
Like that's the reality. That's their reality. And you have to. I mean, you really have to appreciate that when politicians come forward and tell you we need this $19 million helicopter to fight the cartels. You're, no, man. That I mean, uh, no, that's not the way. I mean, we try that. I mean, you can tell them, okay, we have tried that for 10 years. Now let's try this way.
Yeah.
Let's spend the same money. I mean, let's be fair, fair and square, apples to apples. And,
It-
you know, my guess is this is a better way. And, it's, I don't know, man, it's people there are happy. It's their work, and they are doing really well, better than they. I mean, one of them, I actually, uh, I met the guy when he asked for to be one of the producers, because he was like in one, like the first round of the new project, but he was like, I'm not trusted in the government, so I'm going to the U.S. to pick, I don't know, strawberries in California,
Mhm.
and he missed it. And when he came back, he was like, "Oh, I want to be." And they were like, "No, man, you went. Sorry, you have to wait to the next round." And he waited. He worked for like another producer to be like his, you know, right hand or whatever.
Mhm.
And now he's an owner. And that's a way you can like come at. And like in the first project they made, they, I mean, it's not. Uh, the point I tell many people is like, I think this is a silver bullet, but it is a silver bullet that you have to go to the mine, take all the silver ore, extract it, refine it, take it to the the silver man or whatever, and then take it to the guy that makes the bullet, then take it and then put it and shoot, and that's your silver bullet. It doesn't come easy, but it is.
I really think, like, well, you bring up so many great points, and again, it's just, it's the numbers, the numbers speak. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, that one governor bought that, Black Hawk helicopter for $19 million. And yeah, like you said, we've tried the war on drugs. We've been fighting in this country. We've been talking about it for 30, 40 years. I mean, it's just ridiculous, if not longer. And all the hundreds of billions of dollars we've spent on it, and all the money that this country spends. And then we really rope in other countries like Mexico. Oh, you got to help us with this war on drugs, and Colombia, and all this other stuff. And it's just, all we've done is just more. It's just more military spending. It's more. And when you show these solutions, so many times, I hear this so many times in solutions to homelessness, like the housing first solution that I found out about Finland. They're also using it in Utah, where they give people housing and get them off the street and give them dignity and get them medical care and job training. And that way that they did in Finland costs less than the current way of just shelters and the police and everything else. It's the same thing with what you're talking about. You want to fight the cartels? Give these young men good jobs so they don't have to work in the cartels. And part of the reason we have drug addiction, at least in this country, but I'm sure it's true in Mexico and other places, is just like when you have all this poverty and despair, then people want to get, they want to numb out from life, so they want to get drunk, they want to get high. And it's like when you offer people, um, you know, oh, decent education, decent jobs, most people don't want to be criminals. They don't want to be. They just like, will there always be some of course, but just the capitalism, in my opinion, is fostered an environment that encourages criminal behavior, or it at least gives people no other option. And then when you add into America private prison industry, it that whole cycle.
It's turbocharging.
Yeah, it is. It's supercharging. And so this is such an amazing solution. Like you say, it's not easy. This isn't an easy solution. You just come in and woo, boom, build tomatoes and everybody's happy. But like it's a lot of, like you said, it's a big long process, but it's a process that's 10 times better than just Black Hawk helicopters and war and killing and whatever else.
Yeah, and it's a thing that it spreads like these good vibes or whatever you want to call it. Like in the first project, they had more land that they needed, and they listed to an international, I think it's French company that makes power out of solar panels, and they installed like a power plant, solar power plant, like next to the greenhouses because they didn't they like the government took a lot of more land that they needed, because that was the deal, but now they're using it for that. And it's like, and they're taking the money from the lease to make more projects, and they're doing something similar with goats and everything. um, and I mean, it's really funny. Yeah, man, I think one of it transcends political parties because the project was started with one party, and now it's an independent governor. um, uh, and the results are the same. Like the people are better. I mean, you can like see it. The first time I got there was not even maybe 10 or 15 cars in the parking lot. Now it's full, and a lot of motorcycles. Before there were only bicycles, and they had to have this like old school bus they bought from the US, one of the school buses, like the yellow ones. But yeah, man, that's life, and that's how you got to do it. And the hard part of this is that he's not. I mean, no, you have to know as a governor that you're not going to get credit for this.
Right.
Especially if you started, like, they are not going to see the light. um, Maybe in 2 or 3 years, maybe you're not even there, and maybe that's the reason, they shy away from these projects. And there's no money, and there's no money, and for this there's no money. Oh, but Blackhawk, yeah, 19 million,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. It's like it's the same. Like, don't feel alone in this. It's like this easy, like, get a Blackhawk and you're gonna get cranked down. Like, no, it doesn't work like that, and it's very hard. And then the component of the banks denying them the you know the money to start for this project. It was like, oh, son of a bitches, man. I mean, and just saying, oh, because of Trump, they already had the checkbooks, and at the end they were like, oh no, we decided it's very risky. And now we're like, you idiots, like, this worked because, and they got the money from somewhere else, and the person who gave them the money now is wealthier than before, but he made the bet on them. I mean, because he saw how these people work. And uh, I think we had to find these alternative ways and just tell the government, like, do not bullshit us. Like, the stuff I see it in my city, man. Like, my city is also an independent mayor. It's like the as one of the wealthiest counties in Mexico, and they have cameras all over the place. And yeah, it's for your security. And I was, well, you we could actually put like free Wi-Fi for everyone, and it's like the same work. You don't have to. I mean, I'm not against the guy who runs the company and got the contract. Instead of cameras, put Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
free Wi-Fi for everyone. And it's the same maybe in your town in LA. That there are cameras everywhere, Big Brother, and half of them do not work. I mean, I'm sure you don't have to go very far. Just Google how many cameras in LA doesn't work, and it's gonna be like 60% or some
Yep.
ridiculous thing like that. And with the same technology, the same money, you can do better things. And I think that's the message.
Yeah, it's good. And I thank you for bringing this to, because again, it takes innovative ideas like this one and people getting creative and thinking in new ways, which is why this is really inspiring because it shows that and it's a solution that worked. And of course, like any good idea, a bunch of people said, "Oh no, this will never work," and of course, they're wrong. And
No,
and
and I'm gonna tell you, Graham. I think the thing that they battle against the most is racism or classism. It's like these got fucking Indians, man. They know nothing because they treat them like that. It's like, what? They're peasants. No, 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 no. How they can run a company? They sell like $5 million a year, up to that. Like, how these peasants are gonna sell $5 million or six? No, 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 no. That's impossible. Impossible. And when I tell, especially like older generations, like boomers, like, hey man, like, I'm working with these guys and they run my DSLs, and they're just, people, some of them don't even have high school degrees, and they're like, are you sure? Like, the government doesn't do anything for them? Like, no, man, they just provide the engineers, and they have to approve whose engineer is going to work for them. And yeah, man, it's like they run the show. They pay me. I mean,
that's
and
that's man, and it. Thank you for bringing that aspect into it. I wasn't aware of that. That is just like a lot of indigenous people that are looked down upon. Oh, they'll never get this done. And you just what you're showing is when you give people the framework, regardless of their ethnicity or even education levels, they're people are in they're industrious people if given the opportunity. And we could be doing this program, we could be doing this here in the United States, we could be doing it on Native American land here, we can be doing it for all there's a lot of impoverished people in America right now, especially we have food lines because of COVID-19 and the
yeah,
pandemic and our government doing nothing. We could be empowering all these Americans to work and grow their own food and sell it, and it sounds like it's a viable business, like they have a product that they're selling, that they're exporting. And it's like when given the framework, people are allowed to thrive. And it's just like this, that general statement is just keeps proven time and time again, despite all that'll never work. And it's just usually just rich people that had many things handed to them and they think they've worked hard. And so, well, you worked hard in a system that favors you and allows you to succeed in that system. So this is really important. I really appreciate you bringing this to us, Emilio. I mean, this is,
yeah,
I love positive stories like this because there's a lot of darkness right now. So the fact that people are, I mean, that's one of the things I'm hoping, because especially here in the United States, what COVID has exposed is just this toxic capitalism. It's not working. That's why we have people living in the streets and waiting in line for hours to get food. So, so I think it's going to force people into solutions like this because, like you say, all the old systems didn't work. The old capitalism doesn't work. The war on drugs doesn't work. The war on terrorism, all this money that we spend on all these wars, when we could just help empower people to be, worker cooperatives and, like how successful is this? It's impressive. It's impressive. Um,
yeah. Yeah, and it's they're trying to replicate it in other areas, and I think they will succeed because people are really encouraged. They see the success, they see that they can make it. It doesn't matter if they didn't end up, they don't have a degree, a diploma,
Mhm.
that they can be successful, and now they can hope that their children can have a degree
Yeah.
and a diploma, and they can be like engineers, and like they're the ones to be will get these projects to the next level, and that's hope, man. I mean, that's what we want.
Well, I applaud you for doing this. You know, you're a lawyer. You have a law degree. You could be working for some big bank or something like that, and instead you're you seem like a sharp guy. You could probably be making a lot of money for some big corporation, but instead you're trying to help people out, which I applaud. That's really excellent. So, um, thanks, man. You're down there making Gotham great again. We appreciate you coming on the show. And you are what when I say everybody, you're all political vigilantes. This is what I mean. Everyone has a skill set, a training, a diploma, or whatever that can help out in some small way. And what you're helping out is in a big way, in my opinion. So thank you so much, man, for telling me about this, for supporting my show, and coming on the show to let our audience know about this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Just a small cog. It takes a village, but villages there are plenty.
Yeah. And look what happens. You just empower one village. Look what happened. Just that one little village gets empowered, and now everybody else wants to do it. And you have this project in several places. So it's awesome. How do you say shave your knuckles for justice in Spanish?
Rasúrate los nudillos por la justicia.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at grahamelwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.